Would I be the asshole if I told my sister she smells? My younger sister has struggled with body odor for years. It's something everyone in my family has noticed, but no one addresses directly. My parents occasionally hint that she should shower or they give her new soaps. I'm not sure if she realizes it, but the odor is strong enough that her entire room smells, and my mom has to use a special detergent just to get the scent out of her clothes. At first, I assumed it was a puberty phase, as she was in middle school when it started, but I just got back from college, and unfortunately, it's still a major issue, maybe even worse. I know she deals with anxiety and depression, and it's likely this is a hygiene issue tied to her mental health. I understand that struggle and really don't want to come across as mean or judgmental. The reason I'm thinking about this now is that she's leaving for college soon and will be living in a dorm with roommates. I'm genuinely worried that people won't be kind about it or that she'll have a hard time socially because of the smell. I'd rather she hear it from me, someone who cares, than from a roommate or stranger in a cruel or embarrassing way. But at the same time, I don't want to hurt her feelings or damage her self-esteem since it is already very low. So, would I be the asshole if I gently told her the truth? I just want to help, not shame her. Edit. Thank you all for your kind and thoughtful responses. I do plan to talk to my sister in a respectful and caring way. To clarify a few things. My sister is currently in therapy for her mental health and is on medication, which could possibly be contributing to the odor, but this issue existed before she began treatment. The smell isn't like typical body odor. It's very distinct, though hard to describe. I also spoke to my mom, as many of you suggested. It turns out she has addressed the issue with my sister more directly than I realized. I had brought it up with her before, but until I asked today, I didn't know she had actually spoken to my sister about it. My mom believes the root of the issue is my sister's depression, which often leaves her without the energy or motivation to keep up with hygiene. That said, my mom encouraged me to still talk to her myself. She pointed out that I may be able to approach the topic in a different way, as a sibling rather than a parent, and that might resonate more. Since I've just returned from college, I can also offer some perspective on dorm life and why this might become more noticeable or impactful in that setting. I'm taking all of this into account and will approach the conversation with empathy and support. Not the asshole, but how you say it matters more than anything. This is one of those conversations that could either help her or scar her, so it's all about delivery. Right now, she's probably either nose blind to it or too ashamed to confront it. Depression can make basic hygiene feel impossible. If you barrel in with, "You stink," it'll crush her. But if you frame it as, "I love you, and I don't want the world to be shitty to you over something fixable," it might land better. Maybe try, "Hey, I've noticed your room clothes have a stronger smell lately, and I know mental health can make showers feel like climbing a mountain. But I'm worried your dorm mates might be dicks about it. Want to brainstorm solutions together? Maybe a different soap or laundry routine? There's something I want to talk with you about, and it's difficult and awkward to discuss. I think it's important, and I want to talk about this because I care about you." Then wait for a response that they understand. This gives them time to mentally prepare for something they know will be a serious conversation. After that, proceed gently. Even if they don't respond well, they may remember later. It's gonna hurt either way, so might as well rip off the band-aid. Not the asshole. Just approach her, talk to her about her struggles. Remind her that college is a new start where she'll finally get some independence and hopefully a new outlook on life, and so she should make the first step by caring for her hygiene. Don't mention you're worried about her being bullied, since then she might get skittish or start overthinking and believe you yourself have been thinking about the smell behind her back with the whole family. Not the asshole. But don't just tell her. If possible, try to get her to see a doctor and check for hormonal or other physical causes of the odor. She might need to treat the medical cause first, in order to reduce the odor. Have your parents talked to her doctor about the abnormal body odor? There's usually some underlying condition causing it, and it can often be cured or controlled with medication or special cleaning products. Not the asshole. Your parents have been doing a disservice to her for not being more upfront about it earlier on. Am I the asshole for sending my roommate only 1/3 of our monthly rent? I, M21, moved in with my roommate, M23, last year. He is the older brother of my close friend who knew I was looking for a place, so he told me his older brother is also looking for a roommate. I don't have any formal agreements and I'm not on the lease. I have been sending my roommate half of the monthly rent and utilities for the last 8 months, always on time. Me and my roommate share food for the most part. No one goes overboard, but we are both fine with the other eating some of the items we buy. We are also in a kind of cycle where we take turns buying food, groceries, cleaning products, and we never really have had to ask the other to replenish anything. However, in February of this year he got a new girlfriend who started staying over a few nights a week, which was perfectly fine and she seemed cool. But since April she has been staying here every single day, and every single night. I am still paying 50% of the rent and utilities and groceries. We only have one bathroom and she is in there anywhere from 1-3 hours per day. She also uses our food like the bread I buy, meats, vegetables, snacks, and it all disappears a lot faster. It has been annoying me, but I've been letting it slide. I started keeping a lot more of my food and drinks in my room. But earlier this month I noticed that an entire can of Pringles I kept in my room and 2 of my protein bars had disappeared. I know I didn't eat them, so when they went out I also went into their room and found the Pringles in their trash can and my protein bars on her nightstand on her side of the bed, so I know it was her. But the final straw was on Tuesday of this week when there was some Greek yogurt in the fridge. I used maybe 1/4 of it to make a dessert, and later that day she extremely overreacted, opening the door to my room and started yelling at me to never again eat her Greek yogurt and called me a rard. Anyway, it's time month's rent and I'm over it, and ended up sending him only 1/3 of the month's rent, and he asked why it was short and I told him I'm not going to be covering her utilities, food, etc. He told me that's not how it works and I have until the 31st to send him the rest of the rent, otherwise he's going to kick me out, and made sure to remind me I'm not on the lease. It would be mad annoying and inconvenient to have to find a new place. So I need to know if I am overreacting? Not the asshole. Honestly, you shouldn't have let it go on so long, and you should address the fact that he or she went into your private room. I would let him know that since you've been there over 30 days, you are a tenant, and he can't kick you out. You would have to be evicted. You have already paid for his girlfriend for months, which was not the agreement. She needs to spend no more than 2 nights a week or pay her share if she is going to stay, and they both need to stay TF out your room. You are right to be angry, but you handled it very poorly. You have to talk about what makes you unhappy and set boundaries. Just not paying your rent isn't how this works. That's just childish and petty and won't resolve anything. Like, what kind of reaction did you expect? Of course he was gonna tell you to pay the rent or leave. You should have given him a heads up. Hey, since girlfriend moved in, we need to have a chat about rent and utilities. How's Saturday? Have the talk now. He might disagree that she's moved in, but it sounds like she wants you out. You should get a lockbox for your food. And you should move out. His girlfriend's a greedy mooch. And your roommate's an asshole. Not the asshole. But this is why being on a lease helps give you some protection. You have to decide if this is the hill you want to stand on. Cover his new GF's expenses but keep your living situation? Or stand firm, only pay half and probably have to find a new place to live. If your roommate reasonable enough for a conversation, he might be willing to compromise if you tell him what has been happening and that you're over it. It will probably come down to whether he needs help paying rent or not. But either way, you were justified in saying something. Everyone sucks here. You could have communicated with your words before making a unilateral decision to alter the payment. He sucks because he moved someone in and then didn't talk about a fair way to split the rent. Communal space is 1/3, but there are only 2 bedrooms, so it could be more fair to do a 4060 split? Am I the asshole for deciding to put my father in a nursing home? I, 24 female, have a father, 67 male, who has declining health and now needs 24/7 care, which is why I put him in a nursing home. For some background, growing up I had 2 other siblings and my father would rank us in terms of who he loved most and who he loved least. And I was the one he loved least. He would also belittle me and call me ugly, bratty, and unlovable. He would ignore me whenever I spoke and would take my siblings on father-son and father-daughter trips every month, but never me. He would also ruin milestones such as my graduation by saying he was really disappointed in me. Growing up it felt like I was constantly walking on eggshells, and he never knew me because every conversation had to be kept at surface level. If I said something wrong I'd be threatened and screamed at and lose the privilege of eating dinner. He wasn't a bad father and had a few good moments, but these are just some reasons why I am opposed to taking him in and not so close to him. Due to the fact that we never had a close relationship, I decided that when he asked if I could take him in I said no. Him and my mother are separated, so she's not an option. His family lives states away, and my siblings are both too young, 19 and 21, meaning that I would be his only option. Now I feel guilty for putting him in a nursing home because he is paying for it out of his own pocket and he's not able to afford that. I'm not punishing him, I just don't want to take care of him for the next 20 years because I have my own family now. He also wasn't terrible or abusive, so I'm wondering if this is too extreme. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You need to go back and read what you've just written. He wasn't a good father. He was abusive. Taking on the care of a parent is not easy under the best of circumstances. You don't owe him this. Nope. My mom abandoned me when I became disabled, and she always talks about how she wants to be cared for at home if she goes senile or anything along those lines. It won't be me doing the caring. You're definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole, but I think it's important you realize that he was abusive. Everything you described from him is abuse. Even if he hadn't belittled you, you shouldn't feel guilty about not taking him in. 24/7 care is a huge commitment. No one should feel guilty for not doing that. If he wants out of the nursing home, he can work with the nursing home's social worker to find an apartment and get 24-hour home care. You are not the asshole. Shed the guilt. Not the asshole, and you may not realize this but the way he treated you was abusive behavior. It was verbal, emotional abuse. And the way he treated you was a terrible thing for a parent to do. You are under no obligation to care for him. Given your difficult past and current responsibilities, choosing a nursing home to ensure he gets proper care isn't unreasonable. It's okay to set boundaries for your own well-being while making sure he's supported. Am I the asshole for buying non-necessities? My husband and I live comfortably. Bills are always paid and we save money with each paycheck. He has always been a very basic guy. His hobbies are cheap, free, he doesn't go out much, and he almost never wants anything new. He usually buys the cheapest of whatever he does need. I don't consider myself to be materialistic, but I do buy better quality than the cheapest stuff. I won't buy the cheapest sneakers, but also won't buy anywhere near the most expensive. My philosophy is I want something that will last a while and be comfortable, and I use whatever it is until the end of its life. Recently my husband has started getting on my case for buying anything beyond basic necessities. He would make comments about how I don't need the shampoo and conditioner I buy because the cheapest version is the same, it isn't, or how I don't need shaving cream, I do if he wants me to shave. It recently blew up badly with my skincare products. I use one cream and one moisturizer. That's it. It helps keep my cystic acne under control. I recently bought a new tube of my skin cream, and when it arrived, my husband got mad at me for wasting money and said I don't actually need it. He says that I am burning money by buying it and women don't actually need skincare products. I told him he has seen me when I didn't have it for months. My face was covered in painful acne. He says I am being dramatic and it can't be that bad. He believes if he doesn't need it or something works for him, it should work for me as well. He brought it up when we were at his parents' house and his family is on his side. His dad said I should stop buying things my husband doesn't think I need in order to keep the peace. But I don't think I should have to deal with acne, dry and brittle hair or whatever in order to keep him happy. He should be able to trust that I know what my body needs. Am I the asshole for buying things that aren't complete necessities? It sounds like your husband has some financial anxiety to get to the bottom of. My husband is the same lol. We have money, but he will wear the same $30 shoes until there's literal holes in them, no kidding. He fusses when I buy nice things for our house, things that last, but I see him appreciate them when he's using them. Something that really helped us was putting together a very clear budget with every fixed and variable shared and individual expense accounted for. This gave us complete transparency into what was coming and going, and I realized it made my husband feel so much better when he could see very clearly that we weren't actually living beyond our means. Buying nice things is only a problem if you can't afford them after all. Not the asshole. Your husband should not be bringing his parents into your marriage. Also, you should not need your husband's permission to spend minor amounts of money. This is a horrible argument to be in. It sounds like your husband is very careful with money, which is okay if that works for him. But it doesn't work to the extent that it makes him the ruler over you. I suggest that you come to an agreement that you get, say, $200 per month to spend on whatever you want. And anything over that, you'll discuss with him. But under that, he's got nothing to say about it. Because arguing about this stuff is not good for your marriage. Sorry, but I had to spit out my coffee at the should stop buying things your husband doesn't think you need. Excuse me? You're an adult woman. Would he speak to a man like this? If he drinks, tell him he doesn't need beer. Next thing he will tell you sanitary products aren't deemed necessary and you can just stand over a bucket and bleed into that. He's acting like a deeply insecure man. If you're good financially, there's no cause for this level of control. Next time he brings it up, especially in front of other people, ask him if there is something he needs to tell you in regards to his finances. Did he lose his job or is he secretly in a mass amount of debt? Not the asshole. All the things you mentioned are necessary and he's being controlling and a cheapskate. He sounds a little crazy, girl. Flushed.